I think that's what we're just sort of touching on before, is because I totally agree with you, Howard. You're not going to, it's going to be, it's inequitable, and it would be inappropriate for government to say to the private sector of, you're currently paying $280 to have your hauling, collection and hauling, and on top of that, we're going to charge you $1.75 per bag for each of the bags we put into the trash that's collected and hauled away. Because you're increasing the bill by $100 or so, or more, per year, whatever that would down to. So is there a way to say, with the revenue that we get from the bags, that needs, and the bag cost having to be at least a price that affects the economic choices that people make in terms of number that the bags are willing to scrunch down to. With that revenue, since the town doesn't need it because it's not to pay for any expenses that we're incurring, other than the $75,000 tip fee piece that we would want to get back, the extra revenue, how do we give that back to the hauler for servicing this program, for managing the program at the curbside? And that's really what it amounts to. So I think that's where maybe the hybrid can be worked in, and maybe that's our assignment for the next meeting, and that we see how that number might work, what's reasonable, come up with some cost estimating. And we do want to avoid not making it so complex that this cost distribution system that is not comprehensible to the people who are going to be voted on and people who are going to be out of here and find out whether or not we're going to extract. It's got to keep it simple. Yeah.
What? You're going to have to run that by me then. I didn't find it.
I'm saying that in order to make this program effective of having pay as you throw, wherein the individual households are incentivized to reduce the amount of trash that's going in the solid waste bin and increasing their recyclables, that price per bag has got to be at a benchmark level that influences that choice. I don't know what that number is. Is it $1? Would $1 do it? Maybe. I don't know.
50 cents? What is it for per bag? 28 cents? 30 cents?
Yeah, right. But what is that, whatever that number is. But still, it's going to be more than what our costs are that we're trying to avoid, which is the tipping fee piece. So therefore, we give them that money back to the people, to the households, in the form of the haulers charging. Yeah.
So how do we handle the transfer station people?
How do we handle that? Reduce the sticker fee, the annual sticker fee. Subsidize the sticker fee for a certain portion of it. I think that's why we use these fees. So it's not $100, it's $85.
I think the bag fee.
So what do you still, even if you have, I don't use the transfer station, so, but my parents do, so I know they'll be asking me. So they buy a bag, now they have a chair to throw out.
Yeah.
How are you disposing of that?
I mean, you could say, one of the things we can do, Howie, is...
It's not that it can't go in that container up there.
Okay.
We know that.
Chair is 3 bags. Or 3 bags worth.
Or,
Actually, we couldn't.
How about-
It would be... That's
But you'd have to buy a sticker, you couldn't just put it in
Yeah,
a
I think
bag.
how you would...
how?
Maybe you'd have stickers for the chairs. One of the things you can do at Rose Hill is things that don't go over the weight scale. The guy, the attendant, will say, "Give me 3 tags for that." Because he'll throw like a rake, or things of that, household items that like that away. Obviously, not throwing that into the roll-off because it doesn't mix well. But so it gets separated and tell me, give me 3 tags for that. Just making estimates. So it's kind of a weight-based estimate.
Howard, what
So
does...
that's how they handle it.
What does Texera do with the chair?
It just goes in the back of the truck.
Yeah, but he...
Yeah.
So you separate it, right?
Yeah, I know.
But I think
It
it's-
takes up to, and it runs over the scale
Yeah.
Yeah.
with the rest of the...
Yeah, because I think that now it still counts that as residential trash, right?
Yeah.
How about this idea? And you pay him to take the trash. Okay, suppose, because I don't know if you have a chair all that, or.
No, I'm just making a point of a
Yeah.
bulky item that's
Bulky
not
item,
fit in the
yeah,
bag.
Yeah. What about, this had run through my mind too, because I'm thinking about, this is another question. What do you do with your, are we going to set our barrels of trash out on the road the way we do our recyclables?
If it's curbside, you have to.
Yeah, yeah. Now, there was some.
What was the lady that was here the last time? She was a no-go for that.
Yeah.
Your neighbor.
Yeah, and I'm thinking a lot of people be able to, because they have long driveways. So earlier today, I was thinking, one of the ways we could overcome that, because we pay, but we don't have that much trash, but we pay Texair to come in and pick it up, right out of our charge cost. That if the town hired the hauler and so forth, but if you want extra service, he charges you for the extra service, like hauling it out of your.
Which is what he does currently, right?
Yeah, which he does currently.
How much does he charge for the extra, just curious?
To tell you the truth, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what I don't
Yeah,
know.
for long
I
driveways.
think
That could be
Susan
the
told
issue.
me,
I'm sorry.
I think Susan told me that she pays him $32
A month.
a month
So the $8
for the, and I guess the driveway coming in. And I think we pay about the same. But, so there would be, and if he had to pick up an extra chair or a bulky thing, he could, put that on his bill and
Right.
charge. But he's picking up Jamestown's trash, major trash, as the,
You gotta make the rules objective, it can't be very subjective.
no.
No,
Harry judging
No,
whether it's
that
10
wouldn't work.
pounds or 5
Because
pounds.
this buddy shows up
Harry's
and
gonna
that
be-
buddy shows up and.
It's gonna be put in a difficult position, people will be arguing with them all the
Right.
time. So it's gotta be either
I
a
think
flat
it
fee
doesn't
for
matter.
big.
But I mean, well, you could say like, it's for a chair, or,
I think you have to collect
It's
separate.
two stickers.
That's why in the other towns it's done separate.
It is, yeah.
That's what I was
They have
gonna
to
say,
come
is
here
that-
to town hall,
For a
buy a
big
sticker, put it on a chair, and they figure out what date of the month it gets picked up.
Right, couldn't the rule be that?
Now,
if you
since
have-
they're paying for that, right?
Right.
No, they're paying the sticker, how does that all work when you dump the trash out? How does that work in South Kingston? Or wherever? That'd be an interesting answer, like in Middletown, I find.
Yeah, actually, I can check that.
Because they said he goes twice a month and picks up all those other stuff separately.
Right, right.
Do they still allow it?
Didn't Jamestown used to have bulky waste pick up by the DPW?
Yeah, but it's like government cuts everything in this town, we're down to bare bones and nothing. Did you get that, Seth?
I did get it, yep.
When I was a kid,
Get that
yes.
silent?
When I was a kid, the whole month of May, you used to be able to throw out anything you wanted on the
Right.
curb, and the DPW trucks would come by and collect it. But that was prior to the transfer station. That was when it was a whole,
Yeah, but that used to be very common practice and,
all the communities.
yeah.
Well, I'm a fan of limited government, so I think the government should do a lot less than they're doing right now, and charges a lot less in taxes.
I agree.
Yes. Well, a bulky item could be anything that doesn't fit in a trash bag.
Right.
And then they'd have to do the economics. Do I get a hacksaw and chop up the bulky item, get into a trash bag, or is it worth it for me to just buy a sticker for a bulky item? And the bulky item could be as big as this table, or something that wouldn't fit in
The
a trash
communities
bag.
now handle it. In a
You're not
way-
allowed to cut those things up. In some
Okay.
communities have bag programs. Chair is a chair is a chair, you're not allowed to cut it up and put it in the bag.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
household solid waste only.
Where does it say that?
Yeah,
There's some bag programs that are like that.
Right.
Seeconk is like that, you can't,
You can't
it's
chop it up.
household solid waste only.
household solid waste are those normally
Is that-
disposable goods.
Yeah, right, there you go.
Chip it up.
But what happens with bulky waste
And this
is
is mulch.
even, either it's private haul handlers, and they charge, however they might want to charge because of the extra effort, that they, an expense for tipping, that they